All right, man. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA draft. Appreciate the love and support. And try to screen share for the first time. So give me a minute. Kind of want to talk about guys that I've already covered um, over the course of me studying. I got a Piston channel or just a Detroit channel. I want you guys to check it out. It is called Motor City Sports Talk right here on YouTube. I appreciate everybody that do support me on that tip. But gonna see who fall in here. Talk about some draft. So let me get into the chat. Shout out to Kobe 2K fan. And obviously it's one of those years where there's not a consensus number one. There isn't LeBron or Dwight Howard, Shaquille O'Neal, Patrick Ewing, Zion Williamson. This is one of those years like the DeAndre Ayton draft. I mean, if you redraft that draft, pretty sure Luka Doncic, he goes number one. All right. So, but let's pretty much see where we at with it. And let's pull up a big board real quick. See if I can pull it up. Let's see. Give me 1 minute. See if I can pull it up on ESPN. So give me 1 minute. We can pull this thing up. And I've been noticing ESPN got their web name back. Somebody had purchased it, I guess, and now they got it back. It used to be ESPN.go.ESPN. That's the crazy thing about it. There's no longer that. So let's get to it. Let's look at their big board. Now, I haven't really went into depth on a lot of the players, but I know a lot of the players in the draft. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys didn't get to raise their stock because of there was no NCAA. Let me see real quick. Give me 1 minute. There was no NCAA tournament yesterday, so hopefully you guys can see my screen that's coming up. Let me double check. So hopefully we sharing this the right way. And I want to kind of talk about some of these players, but let me double check on my end. Okay, right now you can't see it, so hold on. Give me a minute. So, give me 1 minute. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Give me 1 minute. So, I'm trying to add it to the stream. Give me a minute. Don't know why it won't let me. Hold on 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Oh, I know why it's not doing it. Give me 1 minute. I'm sorry, slow start. Okay. There we go. Let's go into full screen mode. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm looking at. I don't know why that overlay is there, but we here. So I wish I could make it bigger, which I went into full screen mode already. So hope you guys can see it good enough. But let me get to the comment section. So I want to shout out to everybody. Joshua on Twitter, salute. Ali, I see you. Shout out to you, Ray Zone, salute. Yeah, I agree with some gems in this draft. And let's talk about a few guys. Let's talk about the obvious guys. You got, and I'm gonna give my personal opinion on it. You got LaMelo Ball, who's seen on the ESPN big board, which I don't know who's doing it these days. This was Jonathan Gianni. I don't know. Used to be somebody else used to do it. He's the number one guy, but it's far from a consensus number one. As you can see, LaMelo Ball is 6'7", 190 pounds. Think he can get bigger. Then you have Edwards, Wiseman, Denny, Oyenik, Okongu, Obi Toppins, Isaac Okoro, Tyrese Halliburton, Patrick Williams, and Killian Hayes. Okay, we can start off with the top 10, and then I'll go to the top 15. Now I haven't seen Patrick Williams play, so I can't really speak on him. But out of all these dudes that's kind of in the top 10 plus LaMelo Ball, that's not on your screen, he's above. We could talk about, because I haven't seen Patrick. When we could talk about Killian Hayes, okay? Killian Hayes I don't even think he's the best prospect from France, point guard wise. They say he's number 3 in his position, and he's 6'5", 192 pounds. Now, you can look at his strengths. Great size for lead guard, 6'5", that is true. He has some tools to defend either spots when fully motivated, can change speed and directions with the ball, fairly fluid athlete who can use his size to overpower guys, comfortable in the pick and roll, 3-level scoring potential and creative as a passer when he's able to get to his left. He also improved as a shooter, can rise in the mid-range, yada, yada, yada. All right. You can get to his improvement areas. Average athletically, but terms of burst and vertical, struggles with aggressive pressure, turns the ball over on 25% of his possessions. That's normal for a young guard, can change speeds and direction, but doesn't quite shift. I'm just going to give you my opinion, other than Mike Schmidt's opinion. He says big playmaker. I don't really see big playmaker with I don't see big playmaker with this guy. He's a decent playmaker. I think he mean big as far as his size. Okay. This is out of the top 10. I haven't seen the other kid from Florida State, but out of the top 10, he's one of the guys that I least like. One thing I noticed with him, he's not an elite athlete, and that's okay because he has elite size for a lead guard. But one thing I noticed with him, he can't use his right hand. He struggles going right. He really can't, lay up with his right hand. If he goes right, there's usually about a 90%, I'm going to probably say damn near 100% chance that he's going to finish at the rim with his left hand. We all taught when you go right, you jump off your left foot and you lay up with your right hand. When you drive into your left, you jump off your left foot or your right foot and you lay in with your right. I see some times where he's coming off the left foot and laying up with the left foot. Even on either sides of the bucket. And one thing I noticed with him, he does have a good mid-range game, but what people need to understand, I don't see elite point guard skills. I see he's really good at lobbing the ball, and he can make a few passes, but he's by far, he's not one of the premier playmakers in this draft, and he's not super athletic, and that doesn't bother me. But as a point guard, I don't really see elite handle. I see a guy that's probably going to be more fit as a shooting guard in this league. You know what I'm saying? And his shooting percentage, it doesn't really bother me because if you look at Luka Doncic's shooting percentage over his, and I'm gonna get to this in Denny. If you look at his shooting percentage over there, wherever he played at his last year, Luka shot like 29 or 30% from 3-point land. So it doesn't really bother me about shooting percentages coming out college or coming out the Euro League, okay? I don't care about the shooting percentage. What I do like about the kid, he got a nice mid-range game. I like his size. I like his length. He an okay ball handler for a taller guard, but he's not one of those dudes that's going to break you down off the dribble and really make somebody else better, okay? Nice height, nice length. But if I have to really make and I could be wrong, somebody can come back on here, he could be the best player in the draft, all right? But when I look at him, I don't really see elite nothing. All right, he got maybe elite size, but people will say, Magic Johnson was 6'9" with elite size. I think he got really, really good size. But out the point guards in this draft, You know, I like a lot more point guards in this draft, and I can just talk about that position real quick. When you're talking about point guards in this draft, I like this kid right here. He's from France as well. His name is Theo Maledon. I think his name is Maledon. And he's 6'5". He's a little bit lankier, but he's also a guy who's tutored by Tony Parker. Okay. And when I say, you know, this guy is really, really good, you can get a Killian Hayes value at the 24th player in the league. But we kind of get there in a minute before we talk about Theo. And Theo's one of my, you know, favorite guys at the bottom of the map of the draft, and I've scouted him as well. And I would do a part 2 to the guys I haven't really looked at, because I'm really looking at guys on my other page that are from that's for the Detroit Pistons around 7. It's rumors that we can move back, you know, some of that thing. So shooting percentages, they don't bother me. They don't. And I would tell you why shooting percentages don't bother me, because let's pull up and I'm sharing off this page. So when I'm done, I'll pull up Luka Doncic information, and you see his last year in Europe. He shot like 29%. So it doesn't really shock me. And there was a lot of people saying that when he said his rookie year that he was pretty much it was easier to score in the NBA. I think he got a point. One of the reasons it's easier to score in the NBA and possibly in college is because I think in the Euro League, and obviously I know in the college, that you can play a regular zone. In the NBA, at one point it wasn't no zone. You have to play a zone. You can't really play an area in the NBA. You have to play a man. So it's kind of a watered down zone. You know, one of the weak parts about the zone is that you give up offensive rebounds. You know, so if you don't have an elite offensive rebounder down there, you give up a lot of zones. You give up a lot of offensive rebounds in the zone. But he said, I know he late, but I'll get to the late part of the draft. I like Winston. He goes to say, I hope James Wiseman go to Charlotte. They need a big man. We'll get to him. I like Wiseman, but I think it's gonna take him a couple years, in my opinion, just looking at him. He says Daniel Oturu, I don't know his name, is a very underrated center in this draft. Somebody have to look out for. We have LaMelo. Wiseman 1, 2. Everyone else is pick them. I don't, to be honest, and I don't have them 1, 2. To be honest, I like LaMelo Ball. I don't have a problem with him being number 1, but I'll get there. I'll tell you. I mean, as far as the best player in the draft, I think it's up for grabs. But for Minnesota, I think it's an obvious pick for them, and I'll get there. He said LaMelo shot 36% and 25% from 313 ranked pro league worldwide. He didn't make the playoffs for comparison. 36-year-old Wash Bogut, who made the MVP year social media hype. My whole thing is with LaMelo, you have to look at how many minutes he played in Australia. And I'm pretty much guessing he didn't play a lot of minutes, because I was looking at RJ Barrett's time with the New Zealand Breakers, and he was in the Australian League. He didn't play that many minutes as well. So we can go over here and look at his stats. Obviously, I spelled that shit wrong. Who cares? And let's look at his stats in the Australian League, right? He actually played. Excuse me, no, that's not him. It is him. So he played. I guess he did. He played 31 minutes a game. He averaged 17 points. He didn't shoot well from 3. He played 12 games, so that's a bite size. That's a bite size. So it's kind of hard to judge his potential, because he had 17 points a game. He averaged 2.5 turnovers, 2.6 personal fouls. That's not really bad for 31 minutes. 1.6 steals. He rebounded the ball at a high clip. His free throw percentage is okay for a guard, better than LeBron's. That was only 12 games, though. His free throws he attempted a little less than 4. He shot 45% from the 2-point land. That's not bad. He shot 25% from 3-point land. He had 10 attempts from 2-point land a game. In 3-point, he had 6.7 attempts. So the shooting, I messed up my thing. The shooting doesn't bother me with a young guy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all repetition. You know, like I said before, Luka Doncic shot 29% in his last year in the Euro League. It really truly didn't. I mean, he's going to get better at this level. I think Cole Anthony better than Killian Hayes. Well, we'll get to him. He said that Ray Zone said LaMelo play with the level of talent depending on level, meaning he would play down to his level. No, you can put that on his daddy. I mean, his brother, but I don't think that he's that type of player. Killian remind me of Frank Ntilikina. Yeah, I mean from the Knicks. The Knicks will mess up anybody. Edwards is the best player in this draft. All right, let's get to him. That's a great freaking point. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and share the video. When we talk about Edwards, he's ranked number 2. All right, he reminds me, he's not 6'3", I don't believe. Is the boy 6'3"? I don't think he's 6'3". Okay, I think that might be a typo, but, you know, let's double check. I don't think he's 6'3". With everything I've read and heard about him, he was listed at 6'5". So, yeah, I think Wikipedia says he's 6'5". Let's look at NBA Draft Net. Let's see what they say. Let's let it load. Whatever reason it's not. Yeah, they 6'5". So unless they got a more accurate height on him, he's 6'5". So if he's truly 6'3", then we have a problem there. But he's 6'5". I believe they didn't have a length on him at all. But one thing I noticed about him, I got LaMelo up here. One thing I noticed about Anthony Edwards is that strong kid, already got an NBA body, can finish at the rack. I mean, really good athlete. You know, when you look at him, I think he has potential to be a superstar in this league. But one thing he has a problem with is he's a guy that has problem with shot selection. And coming into this league, if you have an issue with shot selection, you're not gonna play on a lot of teams. I mean, you can look at the teams that he's probably gonna go to in the top of the draft. Let's look at the guys who are at the top of the draft. I mean, you got Minnesota, they already got D'Angelo Russell. Golden State Warriors, they don't need them. Charlotte, not Malik Monk. They got the other nice dude there that should have been player of the year. What's kid name? Devontae Graham, I think his name is. Unless the Bulls trade Zach LaVine, they won't need him. And I mean, you're really looking at Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland can use him. I mean, Atlanta can use him. A lot of their young wings didn't develop. But you know what? I think he can be a superstar in this league. He can get buckets. I mean, I single-handedly seen this kid really get off on a few games in Georgia. He definitely could be a star in the league. But the issue is, you know, what happened? What can he do without the ball in his hand? What can he do in the open court? You know, and you know he's gonna have to contribute in different ways in the league. He got to, you know, score off the cut. He's gonna be able to, you know, have to score off the catch and shoot. So I do think he's probably one of the more talented guys. I think he can come in and maybe, you know, be rookie of the year right away. But also, you know, I think his floor is a guy that might end up like out the league. I think his ceiling is high, and I think his floor can be, you know, very, very low. But I actually thought he was a tad bit overrated. But you know what? In the right system, I think he could be a good guy. But still looking in the top 10, right? And when we look in the top 10, like I said, I haven't seen Patrick Williams play. But when you also look here, also talk about one of the underrated guys that I like here. And it's this kid from Auburn. His name is Isaac Okoro. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. He's 6'6", 225 pounds. He already got an NBA body. He's 19 years old. And one thing you look at Isaac Okoro is that, I mean, he reminds you of Jimmy Butler, you know? He reminds you of Jimmy Butler. Maybe I think he is a lot more athletic than Jimmy Butler. A guy that can really defend. He really can lock down. He can jump out the gym. He give you them type of I don't want to disrespect. He reminds you of a Gerald Wallace type of guy. Jimmy Butler, you know, Kawhi Leonard, maybe not the jump shot, high energy guy, good defensive guy. You know, one of the reasons that he probably won't be going in the top 5 is because he really can't shoot that good. But once again, Jimmy Butler came into the league. He wasn't a great shooter. You know, Jimmy Butler was not a great shooter when he came into this league. but he developed. He worked hard, and I think Isaac Okoro, at 19 years old, he's far from a finished product. You know, his ceiling is very high because one thing you know for sure, he can hang around this league because he can defend. You know, could he be a Michael Kidd Gilchrist? I don't think so. His jumper looks a lot more fluent. I don't think he's gonna struggle to get to the rack. I think this is one of those guys in that top 10 area that, you know, I think, you know, might be the steal of the draft. He might be, you know, the Kawhi, the Paul George, the Jimmy Butler. He go a lot higher than Jimmy Butler in the draft, but Okoro is really, really a good player. And I think from day one, you at least could bring him off the bench and he'll be able to defend a lot of the good players in the draft right now. And he's one of those guys, if you like to get up and down the floor, he's one of those guys who's going to be really, really good if he just puts it all together. He said shooting percentage matters because Doncic is a good finisher, but he's still not in the top 100 3-point shooters in the league. I mean, he can shoot though. I mean, let's look at Luka. Since you want to make a point, let's look at Luka. Look at Luka. Let's look. Look at Luka. He did shoot 31% from the three last year. He shot 46%, but let's just take a look at his shot attempts. He took 7 threes a game. 7 threes a game. He took more threes than almost 2-point attempts. Look at that for a minute. Well, that's this year. Well, shit, he took even more threes this year. He took 9 threes a game. And almost took 12 2-point attempts from the game. You know, so I mean, he's shooting a lot of threes, but he can shoot. He can shoot. We know he can shoot. So I'm not worried about his percentage per se. He can put the ball in the bucket. He can shoot the rock. You know, he ain't Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, but he the next best thing. So I'm not concerned if a 19-year-old kid can shoot or not. I'm not concerned. Once again, another 19-year-old kid can shoot or not. It doesn't worry me. Now, if they have one of those funny-looking 3-point shots, then maybe I'm concerned. But it doesn't concern me because what's Luka Doncic? 19, 20 years old. He's not a finished product. Y'all gotta stop looking at these kids as finished. You know, Brandon Roy came into the league after doing 3 or 4 years in Washington. If he came into this league right now, people would be saying, oh, Brandon Roy was too old and he don't have nothing to give. Brandon Roy was, you know, one of the best players in the league before he got injured. So it doesn't necessarily matter if you shoot a lower percentage right now. LeBron didn't come into the league shooting 30, 35, 40% from 3-point land. These kids ain't a finished product. You know, he said LaMelo's the best player in the draft. I mean, ESPN has him as the best player in the draft, but once again, he ain't Zion or he ain't Anthony Davis at the top of the draft. But you know what? A lot of people can argue that Anthony Edwards is the best player in the draft. I think there's no argument that James Wiseman is the best player in the draft. I think there's no argument that Giannis Ngakoue is the best player in the draft. I think it's not an argument for Obi Toppin, like him a lot, or Isaac Okoro, or Hilburton, or Killian Hayes. I don't think they're, you know, it's certain guys that just don't have a chance to be the best player in this draft right now. Now, could somebody come up? Now, one of the guys that I absolutely love in this draft is Denny, whatever his damn last name is. He's 6'9", 215. He can play the small forward or the point guard. Some people think once again he's another guy that has issues with his shooting, which it doesn't really bother me. I like his form. So it really, they don't have his stats. It really doesn't bother me. Once again, he reminds you of Luka Doncic. You know, a guy that got pretty good handles. But the difference between him and Luka Doncic is that he actually can jump. You know, he got a little bit bounce to the ounce. He really can get up as a, you know, for a guy from, I think he's from Israel. He really can jump, you know, and I think he might just slightly be a better athlete than Luka. You know, one thing for him, he would definitely fit in with the Golden State Warriors because you can slide Draymond to the 4. He get a little bit stronger. You can slide him to the 4. He can handle the ball. I mean, when you look at this kid, he can play make. He can handle. He can shoot. I think his shooting going to get better. He can finish at the rim. He can finish above the rim. If you ask me, who Minnesota should draft, I mean, look no further. He's definitely should be the pick for Minnesota. I don't worry about the shooting being, 29% and 30%. I can give a fuck less about that. Because at 19 years old, whatever he is, 18, 20 years old, he ain't a finished product. To me, if I'm Minnesota, it's just no hesitation that I pull the trigger on that kid. It's just no hesitation. To me, for Minnesota, he's the perfect fit. You got D'Angelo Russell. So do you want to put Russell and Anthony Edwards? Then you got a backcourt that kind of reminds you of Kyrie Irving and Deion Waiters. People forget that, where those guys, they're going to bump heads and they're going to take questionable shots. Do you want a situation where you got D'Angelo Russell, who's a gunner, you got Anthony Edwards, who come in from Georgia as a reputation with a gunner, and then you got Karl Anthony Towns, who is rumored to want to way out. He went out of of Minnesota. Then you don't want that. If anything, the Minnesota Timberwolves should be trying to take Denny, a guy who can be that point forward, a guy that can distribute, a guy that can feed Anthony Towns, Karl Anthony Towns. He can feed, D'Angelo Russell. Russell could be at the point. He could be at the point forward. He kind of reminds me of a guy like, he's a willing defender too. He's not Scotty or Grant as a defender, but he's one of those guys like LeBron, Scotty, Grant Hill, who can play the point forward. And I think he'll do well. He's probably one of my favorite guys in the draft. If you ask me to bet which guy I would say out the top 10 would probably be the best player in the draft, well, I really couldn't say. It depends on fit. It depends on playing time, but I really like him. I really like him. He's good on both sides of the ball. And if I had to bet, I'd probably bet that Denny is probably down the line. If I had to give you an answer, he's probably going to be the best depending on where he go. Joshua says, I figured he was about 6'4", 6'5". He says Graham is a point guard, Edwards. But Graham, Brandon Harris, is a guy that shoots the ball a lot. That's the problem. You want a guy that can destroy. I mean, you can have a backcourt like that. It's cool. You can have a backcourt like that. It doesn't matter. But it can work. So, I mean, Charlotte doesn't really have a post presence that needs the ball, but you got two gunners in the backcourt. You know what I'm saying? So he's more like the point. He's more like Iverson. Victor say Trump 2020. I mean, whatever you feel. I don't feel a way about either particular guy. I'm not voting. Ali 31 say I'm not looking at him as a finish. I'm just saying he still is the same percentage wise as Europe. In Europe, and from three, that's all okay. He said, I think Doncic in his prime will be at the league's average from like three. Maybe not. He shoots almost 10 threes a game. How do you feel about Terrell Terry? I mean, what team he on? Because I haven't. Let's see where he at on the board. I haven't looked at everybody yet, so I know most of these guys, but I haven't looked at Terrell Terry. Let me know what school he go to. Melo is going to Charlotte. I mean, could happen. Who knows? He said you heard the Warriors trading that pick to the Magic for. I doubt it. Vujovic is not the guy that they need in the middle. To be honest, I mean Vujovic. They need somebody to defend the paint, not another shooter or scorer. I just think that's a bad trade. I love Vujovic. He'll fit that system, but he's They need somebody like Ben Wallace in the middle. Somebody like you ain't gonna find an Anthony Davis or Kevin Garnett or Tim Duncan or David Robinson and Keem Olajuwon or Patrick Ewing or Alonzo Mourning. You might can find you would do Dikembe Mutombo. If I was them, let me just throw something out there for the Golden State Warriors. You know what I would do? I would probably call the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson. You can get Taj Gibson that can play the center with him until he develop. I would probably call the Knicks and try to get Mitchell Robinson in some type of deal and get their pick and let them move up and be to the number 2 spot. But they need somebody that can control the paint. I think Mitchell Robinson is an ideal guy that they really can develop. And that's just my opinion. I like, Stanford. Oh, shit, I ain't seen Stanford. Oh, is that the little light-skinned brother? Yeah, I seen him. He's the little Steph Curry guy. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I like him, the little Steph Curry cat. Yeah, I seen him. Let me make sure that's what y'all talking about. He the little Steph Curry cat, right? Am I correct in my synopsis? He's the Steph Curry cat. Yes, that is him. Yes, that is him. You might get him late first, late second. Oh, Lawrence Williams, salute. Make sure I check out Lawrence Williams' channel. He said he went, okay, salute to that 52. He said the Warriors should trade for Drummond or Mitchell Robinson. I say Mitchell Robinson. He cheaper right now. I'll get to Cassius Winston in a minute. I got you. Yeah, I like him. He come off them screens. I think you can move in the end of the first round and get him. But to be honest, if I had to bet my money on who's gonna be the best in the top 10, I'm gonna probably have to go say Denny, depending on where it go. But anybody got the talent to go there. I mean, it's another guy like they comparing him to Bam. He played with LaMelo and I think Lonzo and his brother in high school, or LaMelo, one of them. Not Oyanik Okongu. I like him a lot. But the problem with him is he gonna probably need to be next to a Karl Anthony Towns or Anthony Davis, but he can pass it. He got long arm length. Not really a shooter, but he kind of give you them Bam vibes. Obi Toppins, I like him as well too. He just don't play zero defense, but he's older. But he's a late bloomer. Had to go to prep school because of his grades. Then he had to miss his first year at Dayton because of his grades. But he can pass the ball. He can dunk. He can shoot it. He reminds you of Sean Marion without defense. He can jump, but he just don't have zero defense. I mean, at all. But if he can get in a D'Antoni system, I mean, he'll really thrive in that system. My number one point guard, I mean, I like LaMelo, but when you're talking about a pure point guard, the best pure point guard in this draft that I've seen so far is this brother, Tyrese Halliburton. If you like shooting percentages, he got a funky shot. But he shot above 40% from three at both years at Iowa State. When you talking about playmaking, making players better. I mean, we talking about an athlete, a good defender. You're talking about him. He shot 43% from three his last year. I think he shot 41% his freshman year, almost 80% from free throw land, ball handling, 3-and-D guy. I mean, he is, he reminds you of Magic, John Stockton, Steve Nash, Mark Jackson type of point guard. He doesn't need to break down. He doesn't need to break down the offense, create his own offense because he's a point guard. He's going to create for this guy, that guy. And if you can get him moving up and down, he's truly a special point guard. He kind of gives me maybe he's probably a less scoring Spencer Dinwiddie, but more passing. So he's really, 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 one of my favorite guys in this draft. Now he's my number one point guard. When you're talking about point guard, I mean point guard, not a combo guard or scoring guard. He's the number one pure point guard in this draft. And maybe some people might have some Michael Carter Williams vibes, but he's a by far better shooter than Michael Carter Williams. So in the right system, surrounded by the right guys, he's the number one pure point guard in the draft. So no comment. Who's your favorite wing in the draft? I mean, if you talking about future wing, because I don't really I consider Denny I consider him a point forward, so you can consider that a wing. But pure wing in this draft, I got one for the future and one for the in the present. My favorite wing in the draft is Isaac Okoro for potential, but you talking about impact, you talking about this kid right here. He's from Villanova. Sadiq Bey is my favorite wing in the draft. You talk about a guy who they say he's a 3-and-D for. That's just an understatement. He's not a great athlete, but you're talking about a guy who has a post game. He can play a little power forward. He can get a little bit stronger. He's an outstanding lights out shooter. Lights out with almost a 7-foot wingspan, as you can see. He shot 45% from three on 7 attempts a game as a sophomore. He can ball handle in the pick and roll. He can defend. He can play make. Right here, somebody that's going to be able to move up, or he may fall because maybe he's older and he was a late bloomer. If the Lakers get a guy like him, it's over next season. If the Lakers get this kid right here, just for the here and now, I vow to live faithful. This kid right here is the most ready to plug and play player, I think, in the draft on offense and defense. You let him go to San Antonio. I mean, if the Trailblazers get him, you ain't gonna need Melo. You know, this kid will probably be in the running for Rookie of the Year. You know, he give you those Brandon Roy vibes. You know, older guy that spent a few years in college. This kid is my favorite in the draft, bar none. Wing, point guard, get back. You know, he's my favorite player in the draft. Saddiq Bey, man, he's definitely he should fall on purpose because he's going to help a playoff team or a team that's on the fringe to get to the playoffs. If you ask me who my favorite player is, it is him, bar none. I think he's from Charlotte, I believe, but you know, nobody's talking about him. One of my subs on my other channel put me on game and was like, this dude is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player. When I talk about the most ready player, if you ask me to say who you put your money on to be Rookie of the Year next year, it is Saddiq Bey, depending on where you go. But let's keep going on. I hope the Lakers get Caston Winston. Nope, they don't deserve him. I hope the Lakers burn in hell. Them and the Dodgers. He said Big O reminds me of J.J. Hickson. Who's Big O? He said they should trade Mo Bamba. Yeah, Mo Bamba's just sitting on the Magic bench. That's somebody I want the Pistons to look at. I'm balling like Mo Bamba. Y'all know that the dude Shake West. I got hoes. He got locked up too, but he was rapping about Mo Bamba. He from Harlem, so shout out to him. He goes on to say, "You think Detroit can move up?" And I mean, yeah, but we don't need to because, I mean, I think we can move back with Boston and still get some guys that I like. But you know, the guy I want them to get. I wouldn't mind him moving up for LaMelo, but I love me some Tyrese Haliburton for the Pistons. You know, I love him for the Pistons. He's a good point guard. He says, favorite. I just said Saddiq Bey. I think I move up. A shout out to Andrew McKinney. He said Peyton Richard is a point guard that can help a contending team. Now, what team he play on? Because I don't see him in the top 24. It's about systems with a lot of draft picks. A lot of guys had talent but failed. And these dudes don't. You know, these coaches ain't too smart. They're talking about the lack of coaching in boxing. I just look at basketball. I think I might get to coaching the young guys. These dudes don't know nothing. I love Isaac Okoro. He's my favorite potential wing, but for the produce, it's him. Yeah, Jay Wright. He's definitely a great coach at Villanova. I think LaMelo would be much better than Lonzo. Long, aggressive, can shoot. I think his mentality is different than Lonzo. Lonzo, he had some injuries that stopped him. I think Lonzo's still going to be a solid guard. I think he can do everything. People forgot before he got in the bubble, he shot 40% from three this year. So you got to remember that about Lonzo. So I'm not giving up on Lonzo. I think I made a video giving up on. I'm not worried about it. The bubble just is not real. But LaMelo got a different mentality. I mean, y'all remember what's my man that played for Houston? He played over there with them, the little guard, Aaron Brooks, I think his name was. Whatever his name is, a little guard. He said that LaMelo said he's gonna be better than Lonzo. So he got the right mentality. I like Melo to be good. Edwards could be a James Harden type of. Yeah, he kind of give you those. He kind of give me Stucky vibes. Just with his, a little bit stronger. But y'all can see him being James Harden. He might turn around and be the best player in the draft. Who knows? Saddiq Cole, great two-way player. Yes, the Lakers get him. It's a wrap. Micah's Gaming taking over. Salute. They get him. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Just look at the teams. Let's go back and look at the teams that's drafting at the bottom. I wouldn't even be mad if the Pistons took him at 7. You just can't be mad. In this draft, you're gonna see some guys reach, some teams reach and stuff of that nature. And I'm gonna do a part 2, 3, and we're gonna do a full mock draft. Have some guys come on here. If I can't find them, I'll do it on my own. But look at the guys at the bottom. Great spot. Boston for him is a great spot. The Knicks is a great spot. The Lakers is a great spot. Toronto is. If he just so happened they got him going to the 24th best player. Let's just say he comes to look. Let's say somebody like him from this point, right? You got Minnesota with the 17th pick. They can use him if they can take Denny and have him. Dallas, they can use him. They need another shooter between him and Porzingis and Luka. You got Brooklyn that gonna need shooters that can use shooters around KD and Kyrie. Miami definitely can use him. The 76ers definitely need him. He reminds you of Tobias Harris. Just he just got more to his game. Denver can definitely use him. Utah definitely they need him. Utah, Milwaukee need him. Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, it's probably gonna be a blessing of this kid sliding the draft, and he gonna make some, team that could have been in the playoffs last year a lot better. So love him. I love me some. That's my favorite player in the draft, Sadiq Bey so far. He said you a hater. I don't, man. I ain't got nothing against the Dodgers, but he said Big O is Okongu. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, he kind of give you JJ. He's better than JJ. I think JJ Hickson was really skilled when he come out of NC State, so I can see the comparison. I think JJ Hickson never just got a chance to really get his feet. Say, I seen the Oregon kid too. Yeah, I seen him. I just didn't know his name. He said Shine Down Sports. He said you think we should bring back Wood at the. I mean, yeah, it don't matter what you spend on him. It might be a chance that you can cut Blake Griffin with amnesty him without paying nothing. So you can play if you wanted to. You could pay him $20 million a year for 2 years. I mean, it's not gonna hurt you, unless you're getting Brandon Ingram. Then if you can get him. But yeah, they should bring him back. But some teams are already agreed in deals with free agents, but it don't really matter. If he leave, I mean, hopefully they get something for him. If he stay, he just gotta learn to get stronger and be a better defender. Yeah, I seen him from Oregon. I like him. He said, I think Lonzo developing well. He has weapons. The problem with Lonzo was B.I. need the ball, and Lonzo and Zion flow a lot better than Lonzo and Brandon Ingram. So I think they should just move on from Brandon Ingram, sign and trade him somewhere, and because Zion and Brandon Ingram don't work well together. I think Zion and Lonzo is going to do well together. I think New Orleans should definitely shift. They can get the number 1 pick in this draft if they wanted to. If you can take Brandon Ingram and say, I send him to Minnesota for the 1st and the 17th pick. I can get Brandon Ingram, and then you can put Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, put them together, and they'd be good. In New Orleans, they can do whatever they want. They can take the pick and trade it for a couple of future picks next year. I mean, they can take LaMelo. I mean, I don't think LaMelo and Lonzo should be on the same team. But, I mean, they can take Edwards. They can trade Drew Holiday and get some future picks and some picks. They can really mold them into what they want to do. I mean, they could take James Wiseman. You know what I'm saying? They can do a lot with those picks. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Minnesota can trade the 1st and 17 in New Orleans. New Orleans can flip Drew Holiday somewhere and get something for him. You say, I got Lonzo, Zion. Then I can say, I take Wiseman to play in the middle. Late pick, I find me a shooting guard. I mean, they can do a lot. So, Sadiq in Miami, that dude is great. Pistons need a stable point guard and a big man. I get rid of Blake. Well, I mean, they can get rid of him if the CBA allows him, but it don't matter. He got 2 more years. His contract gonna be inspiring anyway. But, Derrick Rose said he very vocal about going back to Chicago as well. So I like Tyrese Halliburton. Detroit should get RJ Hampton. I'm glad that you brought him up. I was watching the RJ Hampton show on I forget the name of the channel, Ball is Life. They all look the same to me, no offense. The one that always got LaMelo on in LeVar. And you talking about Mr. RJ Hampton from Dallas, Texas, who is 6'5" and 188 pounds. He's 14th ranked overall, 4th ranked. He's listed as a point guard. He reminds you of Russell Westbrook. Athletic guard. He got a daddy that kind of reminds you of LeVar, but a little bit less temper. But if you don't know, he played in the Australian League with LaMelo Ball. He played for the New Zealand Breakers. His family actually sold their house and their cars, and they moved to New Zealand with RJ Hampton. There's footage of him going against Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies in the preseason last year. And when you look at RJ Hampton, he reminds you of Russell Westbrook to the T. Amazing, talented, great athlete, but I've lost all hope for instilling point guard skills into young point guards. I'm very, very against positionless players. Even in the league is a positionless league. I'm against positionless guards. I don't like combo guards. I got trust issues. I got Rodney Stuckey issues. I'm a Piston fan. One thing I don't like about RJ Hampton is because he does not know how to play the position. And that's fine and dandy. You can develop a shot. You can develop a post game. But the one thing that's lacking in this league is great teachers. I know we talk about all the time in boxing, it's a lack of great teachers. But in the NBA, there's a lack of great teachers. And a lot of the times, these kids don't listen. All right? They don't listen to these coaches and all this. So I don't think you can develop, these positionless combo guards to being true point guards. So if you drafting RJ Hampton, you better be drafting him to be a 2 guard. I think he got his jump shot his form is cool, but really what you think about him, he reminds you of Westbrook. He's gonna put his head down and get to the bucket. He's been playing in New Zealand. He's been playing in college ball down there in Texas. He really depends on his athleticism. Can you develop his playmaking skills? Can you make him better in pick and roll? We know he's gonna be better as a defender. To me, RJ Hampton needs to be developed as a 2 guard and not a 1. I just don't think the NBA has the teaching to have these guys actually develop into point guard. So I just think he'll be another Westbrook. I mean, that ain't bad, but I just don't think he has the resources in the NBA to be the next best point guard. I just think the NBA I'm scared. I think Sam Spurs will get him. I'm talking about RJ Hampton. Yeah, they don't need him. They got DeJounte Murray unless they're getting rid of him. J8 say, shout out to Andrew though. J8 said the coaches today are garbage. It's only 2 solid. It depends. He go to San Antonio. I can see Pop developing him. He did it with DeJounte Murray, but you put him under LeBron when he could work. Check out Jordan Noror from Louisville. Okay, it's worth checking out because Devon Mitchell came out of there and we passed up on him. I just wish I could take over the Lions or the Pistons and draft. The Wizards won't trade Bill because you can't rebuild under John Wall. Keep them up. You got a Ryu. I like him as well. Draft. They got Thomas Bryant. So Thomas Bryant he remind you of Mitchell Robinson for the Knicks. He's a really good young guy. If I'm the LA Clippers, and I keep the questions coming. I keep breaking it down. If I'm the LA Clippers, why not go get John Wall? He's still gangbanging and stuff. You don't want to get shot in LA, but why not get John Wall? Why not trade for John Wall? And if you can, try to get the Bradley Beal contract, get Bradley Beal too. But if you can't, John Wall and take Thomas Bryant and take their pick this year and get them Paul George. You can get that pick next year. You taking John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, Thomas Bryant in the middle. If you can get Bill, get him. I like it. I'm a Wall fan. I just think his defense just and he's shooting a lot better too. He been go check out there's some footage out there of him and Michael Beasley balling. And Beasley, you just see Beasley playing in pickup games, and you be like, "What happened, my nigga?" Like Beasley, they say he routinely beat LeBron. Then it's just all mental for him, He said, "Would you trade the 7 pick for B.I.?" Yeah, I trade my mama for Brandon Ingram. It's like, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, I would. Yeah, overtime it is. Thank you. That's the page. Yeah. The one that had RJ Hampton story. But let's go on. I'm gonna get to that question. Let's go on. All right, other guys that I like in this draft. All right, a lot of people talking about Wiseman. Okay. I like Wiseman. 7'1", 240 pounds. Don't have an issue with him. It's gonna take him about a year or 2 to develop. He gotta get stronger. He got a botch for him. He a left-hander, but I think he's gonna fall out in the league quick. He gotta get stronger. For a team to take him, you looking at a guy that you probably not gonna see really blossom until his 2nd or 3rd year in the league. He's not strong enough to defend. He athletic to block shots, but it's just a lot of work to be done with him. Understanding defensive concepts, help side defense, anchoring the defense, playing one-on-one, pick and roll, how to use his athleticism. This guy, you can't expect him to come in day one and anchor your franchise. This ain't Shaq, Kareem, Hakeem, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. No. There's going to take about 1 or 2 years to bring him up to speed. He really reminds you possibly of a raw talent, but more talented of who New Orleans got, and that's Jackson Hayes. It's going to take time for him to develop. If he come in right away and ball out, I'd be surprised. Another guy that I do like in this draft is this kid from Vanderbilt, Aaron Neesom. He can shoot the blood out the ball. Do they still say that? Because I ain't really hooped for real in years. He can shoot the blood out of the ball. 6'6". He shot 83% from the free throw line for career. He said he made more than 4 3-pointers per game and converted 50% of his attempts from 3-point land. So one thing I can tell you about him, he can shoot the blood out the ball. I don't know what else they say today, but he can shoot the ball. Catching and shooting, coming off screens, triple threat, escape dribble, pull-up game. I would like to see him more in the mid-range game a lot, but if you're looking for somebody that can shoot the ball, I mean, him and Sadiq Bey can shoot the blood out the ball. So, I mean, Aaron Neesom is another guy that can help a lot of teams. He is a shooter. He gonna come in the league and knock down 3-pointers. He played for Jerry Stackhouse at Vanderbilt. If you didn't know, Jerry Stackhouse is at Vanderbilt. Jason say 2021 draft is stacked like the 2017 draft. If the Knicks and Bulls smart, they trade out. The thing about trading out, ain't no guarantee, especially if they do 2 more bubbles, that you're gonna be high next year. It ain't like the NFL draft. We all know the lottery rigged. Veteran 85, what it do? Hampton is a 2-guard to me. I mean, he got the size to be a 2-guard. You know, I like him. He said, sign and trade Christian Wood to New Orleans for Brandon Ingram and swap picks and toss Derrick Rose. What do you think about? I mean, if New Orleans do it, it depends. They got to know if it worked for them. I mean, you know, you don't want to spend all that money on Brandon Ingram and him and Zion and Lonzo don't work. So, he said good combo guards are hard to come. I mean, not in this draft, my brother. Sean, not in this draft, my brother. You want to talk about combo guards? You want to know another guy that I like, Sean? You want to know who I like, who I didn't like at first until I went back and watched them? I mean, come on, let's close some of these windows. Let me show Gemini, my boy on Twitter, what I like. You know who I like? Hold on. This guy right here, Tyrese Maxey, 6'3", 198 pounds from Kentucky. I love me some Maxey. Maxey is a guy that I think he got great shooting potential. He can get to the bucket, got a great floater, can finish. He reminds you of Devon Mitchell. He reminds you of Dwayne Wade. Maybe not with the athleticism to play above the rim. He ain't a freakish athlete. When you look at him, you know, he's good. He a good defender. I think he is a 2-guard, even at 6'3". I think he'll be able to make it. He got a 6'6" arm length. He can defend his position. He can defend the 2-guard position. If there is a point guard that reminds me of Joe Dumars a bit, at least defensively, he's a guy that got great. He's a good defender right now. Great defensive potential. He can fill it up. He can score it. He can catch it and shoot it. I love Tyrese Maxey. He's probably my favorite combo guard in this draft that I've seen thus far. He said NBA coaches don't have patience. The owners don't have patience. You be fired by the time you breathe, Gemini. He said Cole Anthony can be a true point guard. He probably the best leader in the draft. I have an issue with Mr. Cole Anthony. I'm glad that you brought him up, Mr. Lawrence Williams. I have an issue with Mr. Cole Anthony. Remember his daddy was out here pimping. They threw that under the rug. I love Greg Anthony, though. I have an issue with Mr. Cole Anthony. And it's not just his injuries. He don't know how to play the point guard position. He can't facilitate. He don't know how to play make. He's a guy that has questionable shot selection, great athlete, can get to the rim. But he got him and Anthony Edwards, they jack up a lot of bull jive. In my channel, Sharp Boy, you know, Goat James. He's still saying that because I'm watching them on Goat James. But Cole Anthony, he got amazing potential. His daddy really wasn't a true point guard coming out of UNLV, played with the Knicks, Trailblazers. He don't shoot like his daddy though. But if he improve his shooting, yeah, he just don't know how to play the position. He's not a really good playmaker. He's more of a scoring guard. He's a combo guard too. But he got amazing potential. I think he can learn to play the position for sure. He can learn to play the position. I think I ain't too high on him because his injuries, but he can be good. They're trying to keep. Yeah, he ain't lying. You gotta look up that interview, and I don't refer people to Vlad TV, but he got an interview with Oakley and Tim Hardaway, and Oakley is explaining why a lot of young guys ain't developing no more. It's a good interview. He said, how do you feel about the Rockets' new coach? All mainstream media acting like they knew who he was. Oh, yeah, he's Silas's boy. Paul Silas' boy. You know, didn't LeBron get him fired in Cleveland too? He Paul Silas' boy, right? Yeah, he Paul Silas' boy. Hold on. Yeah. Paul Silas' boy. Yeah, he's Paul Silas' boy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's why they knew him. And he black. So, you know, he got, I'm glad he got a shot. You know, Juwan Howard didn't get a shot until he went to Michigan. Then they talking about he a hot name. Jerry Stackhouse didn't get a shot. Ewing never got a shot. So, shout out to him, man. I'm pulling for him. He said, I think Bradley Beal is overrated. I don't. In this league where you 3 and D, he can gun it with the best, and he can handle the ball a little bit. So I like Bradley Beal. I don't think he overrated at all. You know, he ain't LeBron, but you know, him and John Wall, they didn't see eye to eye. You know, they beefed. For people who didn't know that, they beefed. Go look up that article that they broke about Jeff Green and a lot of the players. A lot of the players were mad that John Wall didn't share the ball, and they was cussing out Scott Brooks because he didn't make them share the ball. And that's it's a whole story. I'm gonna have to do a video on it. But they were just saying that Brett and John Wall get away with a lot of stuff, and he a ball hog. He's selfish. Hold on, I'm texting my boy. Hold on, give me a minute. Yeah, it was beefing and stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yeah. But I like John Wall. Maybe that injury. He blew his Achilles out twice, and he looks amazing coming off the Achilles injury. He says, here we go, a football fan. He says the Arizona Cardinals are low-key the best team in the NFC. Ooh, that's a hot take. I like the Suns, man. NFC, let's just roll it down. The Packers, y'all know I call it the Tampa Bay beating that butt. The Saints, if they get healthy, maybe, but Drew Brees is a habitual choker. Let's get some NFL look real quick. Maybe Tampa, nobody in the NFC least. Maybe Seattle. It had to come down to Tampa, Seattle, or Arizona, but Arizona don't have Chandler Jones right now, so that's the only issue. So I'm good. I'm always happy to see small market teams do well. They treat Detroit like a small market, especially since we fell under 1 million people, which I might be another dude leaving out here once again. But if the Warriors are wise, they take Wiseman. No, but he's not ready to come in and play right now. He can't play right now, man. I just scouted him. He's the guy that's gonna play off. He gonna pay off long term. Oh, I got the Patriots upsetting you niggas this week, Renardo. I'm sorry. I had to do it too. I'll be rooting for Buffalo, man, because they remind me of Detroit and Cleveland. You already know them Patriots, dog. I got the Patriots coming back. Marco Simovic averages. Hold on. I don't know that team. He said 14. I got what team he play for over there? He said Liga. I gotta check him out. Ohio State. Oh, that's a ban word. I'm gonna have to ban that word in both of my chats. Caleb Watson, Ohio State. You heard of him? 6'9" thing. He weighs 260. Y'all gotta check him out. Ohio State. Them fuck guys. Just got done watching a video on Maxey. I like his motor. Yeah, I like him. Cole Anthony dead. Greg Anthony is kind of a know-it-all. LaMelo. I mean, shit. I think he was a millionaire before he entered the league. I'd be a know-it-all too. Real talk. I'd be a know-it-all too. I'd be a know-it-all too. Shoot, if I was a millionaire before I even got out of college, shit, I was a $1 in college. Shit, ain't nobody want to help me. Shit. Ain't nobody want to help this guy. But my mom and my granny. But he got game from his pops. His pops was out here pimping. Sugar, that's my sister. Sprinkle me. I mean, y'all niggas might be too young for that. Cole Anthony gonna be the next Austin River. I hope not. I like this dad as a player. What's good, Dr. Blake? What you know about some NBA? Bradley Beal. I like Bill Kingbird too. A lot of people don't get to see Bill play. I don't know why Bill and Wall act like they ain't. I'm gonna pull that story. Damn, I'm tired. I'm sick of this shit. What R. Kelly do? I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit, man. Bradley Beal cut up on him. He said Bradley Beal wasn't even. Man, he wouldn't be an All-Star out West neither unless they was winning. If you can't make the All-Star game in the East, sheesh. Yeah, Murray up balling. I like Murray coming out of Oklahoma. I have my doubts. You think Galladay is going? Hey, look, going to if he goes to the Ravens, cool. I just want to get that Kenny Galladay Pepsi commercial sweater. Okay, where he go? I need that sweater. I signed up to get that sweater. Y'all see that Pepsi commercial that Galladay did with Barry Sanders? I need that sweater. He probably leaving though. They don't want to pay him. I'm tired of Detroit. Shit, they don't want to pay nobody. Shit, I remember when I came home from college, man, all the street lights was off. They didn't want to play the street light bill. He said they gonna get Russell out of there. Here saying Kyler Murray better. Nah, Russell better than him, bro. He barely won. What's going on with Cam? He had the COVID, bro. He had the row. You know, you take 2 weeks off and you in rhythm, you know. That's all. People forget he took time. He said, come on, so you mess with, hey, look, that's my upset of the week, dog. Y'all ain't playing too good. Them Jets was zoom. What Boosie said? Zoom. Krispy Kreme on the tire. Smoke that purple. That's just how it go down. From my hood to your hood, nigga, we getting money. Y'all niggas don't remember that song. But let's keep going on about some guys I like. Let's just keep going on. I don't want to spread no negativity. I like Neesom. He's a ball. I don't know about Precious and Kentucky. I used to follow Kentucky. I follow John Calipari wherever he go because he recruited out the hood. He had got Chris Douglas Robertson, you know, so I had to follow him. I heard a lot about Kira Lewis as well too, but I like Theo. And then you got this dude. Don't he look like Chase Budinger? I mean, what do Arizona just draft? They draft redheads all the time. He remind me of Chase Budinger, don't he? Nick Mannion. And we got some other guys coming through here. We get to Cassius Winston in a minute. There go y'all boy, Pritchard. And then you got y'all other boy. I just seen him. They got him ranked below. Tyler Terry, they got him. I guess he a second rounder. I mean, so, we got a couple upperclassmen here. You got Cassius Winston, 6'1". I like Winston, not just because he's from the area, but good point guard. You know, I think he would be a good understudy for Rondo if Rondo don't go to the Clippers. So, like Cassius, I think he's gonna be a wonderful player. But around these areas, Tom Izzo got a reputation for messing up talent. Messed up DeJuan Summers, messed up Kalen Lucas. Yeah, so people say you shouldn't go to Michigan State around this area as a basketball player. And they lost to the Rutgers in football. They say Tom Izzo messed people up. So I wouldn't refer anybody to go there if you want to be something. You got Trey Jones from Duke. So he a point guard that his brother in the league as well. So I mean, you got a lot of good guys coming in this draft. So like it. We can stop the screen share now. We can stop the screen share. Let me see if I can stop it. There we go. We can stop. Precious went to Memphis. Yeah. I heard his name, but shit, nigga, I would have been blazing Precious, dude. Nigga, your name is Precious. I'd have been flaming. He would have to beat my butt. Oh yeah, I just talked about Edwards. He's solid, boom or bust type of guy. Mason Jones, a very underrated shooting guard. He said them retired. Man, they retired Barry first. And you know what's funny about them retiring Barry and retiring Calvin Johnson? The fan base turned on both of them. Two of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I had some Barry Sanders shoes back in the day. My dad fixed their team bus. And I was a kid. I was wearing them jokers. I should have kept them and got them autographed or something. Because I seen Barry Sanders, man. That's some crazy shit, man. I was with my mom and her ex-husband was about to be her husband at the time. So we had if you're familiar with the Metro Detroit area, we out in West Bloomfield. So if you take Northwestern Highway into an end going towards Farmington and West Bloomfield, you hit this spot. It's J. Alexander's. And then it's Champs. Champs is like upscale Fridays. And we eating at Champs. And we see Barry Sanders. Oh my, we see Barry Sanders. He legit like one table over. Like if you grew up in Detroit around Barry and Grant Hill was everything in Detroit. And my mama wouldn't let us go over there and get an autograph. And I understand it now. He was eating. Oh man, you see Barry fucking Sanders, bro. Man, dude, we was ready to get an autograph and everything. And I can't even be mad at her, bro. Oh, my Barry Sanders is like 5 feet from you, bro. Like, wow. Man, that's crazy, dog. Whew, man. One of my homeboys, his boy, seen Calvin Johnson at a gas station after they made the Calvin Johnson rule in Chicago. When he caught it and they said he dropped it, he was like, Calvin, that was a catch. That shit was crazy. Yeah, I like Malik Beasley, but he got some legal trouble coming up. I remember that dude that played for the Broncos beat him up in the hotel lobby over his baby mama, or it's not his baby mama. It's DeMar DeRozan, Hall of Famer. He's a consistent all-star, 20-point scorer in his prime, better than Bradley Beal, D-Book, McCollum. Hold on. Better than Klay Thompson? No, he not. Better than D-Book overall? Yeah, D-Book gonna catch him. Bradley Beal? I mean, anybody Hall of Famer in the NBA. Y'all can ask some questions. Man, should I go get a bucket in the NBA? Oh, CJ's a Hall of Famer. He got a bucket in the NBA. Shit, anybody in Hall of Famer in the NBA, my G. But yeah, I mean, I guess. If he ain't better than Chris Webber, so if Chris Webber don't get in, he don't get in. No, the Chiefs will smack everybody. No, they won't. They ain't gonna smack the Steelers. Shit, I mean, if you didn't watch the Denver Bronco game last Sunday, you wouldn't even knew that wasn't really no blowout. They was killing my homeboy Sunday. My homeboy was feeling it. Can you feel it? Pittsburgh's got the remedy like Hennessy to beat the longest Big Ben on throwing no 3 interceptions. Chris Douglas Robertson is living life post NBA, by the way. Yeah, I know. I seen him at the casino like a few years ago. The dudes that I hooped with in high school, that was their cousin. That's the crazy thing about it. He was a number street dude, if I remember correctly. Lamar got caught in the like Manning with Brady. He might go 1 or 2, but Mahomes will dominate the playoff matchup. No, Lamar don't got no weapons. That's the problem. They ain't gonna be him. The way them Steelers rolling right now, shit. And they kind of getting the feel. They getting the feel for his receivers. Hopefully, Cassius end up a Lakers. Nope. Hope not. I'm from Columbus. You think who is TTU and can beat us this year? They look like us. Look good. Who is TTU in? I forgot. You talking about Ohio State? Oh, that team up north. Oh, I don't know. They look. I mean, it's too early to tell. They looked a little rusty versus Nebraska early. But I mean, they're still the top dog until otherwise. I mean, Wisconsin out for 21 days. The Big Ten COVID protocol is just dumb. So without Wisconsin being there for a while, they season pretty much over with. But I mean, depends on Milton progression. Milton should have started last year for Michigan, not this year. And this year would have been the year he probably would have been a top 5 pick if he, really what we think he is. The Titans winning all on Derrick Henry. Oh, no, it ain't Derrick Henry this year. Go look up some of the stats. Derrick Henry, he had that monster game, but he had a slow start. Ryan Tannehill was balling. So we can't say it's all Derrick Henry. Tannehill, low key, might be a MVP candidate. So we can't put it all on Derrick Henry this year. Ryan balling. But, he probably see an 8-9 man boxer. Tannehill making the plays down the field. And somebody said this earlier. And I can't remember who. I think it was J.A. He said that if you go to the wrong spot, in the NBA or in pro sports, you ain't going to be good. And Ryan Tannehill was just one of those guys that ended up in Miami and they ain't do the right thing around him. And people forgot he was a receiver at Texas A&M, turned quarterback. And you see, you put him in the right system, he probably a top 10 quarterback. I mean, he for sure was a top 10 quarterback this year. He said Le'Veon Bell want them all. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to play for the New York Jets when they not committed to winning. Should Detroit Pistons bring in DeMarcus Cousins or Trez? Nope. Don't like neither one of them. Cousins done. Montrezl Harrell, I'm the new Dennis Rodman. Boy, stop. In my big boy voice. He always shout out the number streets. Crazy. You see, I went to school in the number streets. Shit, man. Let me tell you this, dog. I seen so many people get their butt kicked, bro. Because the first year of high school, I had a ride. So me and this dude I went to middle school with that we really weren't cool, but our moms clicked. He had a carpool. Next year, I was on the bus. That didn't make me no difference. I caught the bus my whole life. But you know how many people I seen get beat up over there, bro? Legitimately. You know how many people I seen I grab a dog and man, I didn't walk over people getting beat on. Oh, the whole nine, bro. Like you have Murray Wright down the street, West Side, Northwestern, Cass Tech not too far. So I went to a small school. Then you had Chassis up the street. And shit. I seen somebody get beat up in front of our school. I seen somebody trying to defend a girl because a dude, number 3, smacked the apple out of his mouth. He tried to be Captain Save-A-Hole Mine. He got beat up. I seen somebody get pepper sprayed and jumped by some number 3 dudes. And you had the Zone 8 dudes. And then I seen a lot of stuff. I seen this one girl, we was at the bus stop with. Somebody made it rain on her. I seen them chase somebody from Murray Wright all the way to Grand River and Dexter. Shit. I've seen just fights all up Grand River and whoo, sheesh. Man. I had niggas that packed a tool every day in school. Shoot. I'm telling you. What that mystical say? Danger! It was danger every day. But I always could fit in there. I used to hoop in the projects as a kid, bro. If anybody is familiar with it, I used to hoop in Saigon, bro. So I ain't really had no fear. It is what it is. He said if Ravens trade for Rob Shea, Julio, Calvin Ridley, AJ Green available. It's a lot of guys available. He done, man. I remember he was playing in high school at the Acadome in Alabama State. And I was gonna go over to the game, but I had to go to the cafeteria and eat because the caf closed early, and then we had to put our money together and get a pizza. But so I ate at the caf, and they had a big old fight at the game there. So he said, "You gonna be mad if the Ravens beat this man? They might. They at home, you know. I like the Steelers, man. They about to T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. They about to do their thing." They about to do their thing, dog. They about to do their thing, dog. Hold on. I'm gonna get back to y'all. Jeez. Let me finish. So he said, "Do you think this will be one of the better NBA drafts overall?" It depends. Well, let's look at last year's draft. So give me a minute. Look at the last 2 years. Let's go to 2019 NBA draft first. Look at that draft, right? So in that draft, you had Zion, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett. You look at that draft, it depends on what you think a draft by. You looking for a superstar, or you looking for just a really, really good draft with some all-stars in depth. You could look at last year's draft, 2019 draft, which was last year, excuse me. We'll look at 18-2. You can say Zion, Ja Morant look good. But you also got guys like RJ Barrett, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, Jared Culver that really didn't develop. You know what I'm saying? Didn't do good. You know what I'm saying? You got Kobe White who looked good. I think he definitely gonna probably be an all-star in this league. Jackson Hayes, we got to figure out. Ryu was pretty good for Washington. Cam Reddish didn't do much. Cameron Johnson, he didn't really. He did well, but he didn't do really, really great. He actually, hold on. I can't look at his stats. Hold on. He averaged 8.8, so that's not bad as a rookie. PJ Washington, he was solid last year, had some ups and downs. Tyler Hero was amazing. Romeo Langford, we got to wait till he get off the bench in Boston. Sekou Diambo, he was pretty good for us last year. I think he's going to be a star. So last year was a pretty good draft up and down. I'm going to keep going. You got the kid, Darius Baisley, who played some big-time minutes last year for Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs. He's going to be really good. You got some good players. Kevin Porter Jr., who had a good rookie year last year that a lot of people didn't notice. He was the last pick in the draft. A lot of Pistons fans was mad we didn't see. You still got Carson Edwards for Boston kind of sitting the bench. We can see be good. Eric Pascal looked really good. Another guy from Villanova who won the second round. He got injured last year, but he was really good for the Warriors. I mean, shit, that draft is as good as you pretty much gonna get. At least for the here and now. You go to the 2018 draft. Let's look it up. 2018. So you had, look at this draft. DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley. Let's say, Ayton got caught for being on that stuff, right? So we don't know. I think Ayton will be solid. Bagley, he been injury prone. And then you got Luka Doncic, baller. Jaren Jackson, he gonna be good. Trey Young, already good. Mohamed Bamba, Mo Bamba, we gotta see. Wendell Carter been terrible. Colin Sexton is still out. Kevin Knox, terrible because he played for the Knicks. Mikal Bridges, ain't heard much about him. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, amazing talent that he gonna be a baller. Miles Bridges, he pretty good. Michael Porter seemed to be a baller. And then after that, we still waiting on Lonnie Walker to really play for San Antonio. Grayson Allen, shit. I mean, after that, there ain't really much to talk about. Robert Williams, he's starting to play a little bit for Boston. Devontae Graham is shit. He could have. Aaron Holiday is pretty good too. He could have went high in that draft. He better than a lot of guys up there. Gary Trent, baller. Sheesh. So shoot. Depend. I think this draft is a enigma. You never know. I think it'll be pretty good. So who do you think my Bulls should draft? That is an amazing question. It depends. Are y'all gonna trade Zach LaVine? If you trade Zach LaVine, that's one of my favorite players to watch. Oh my bad, I'm asking questions. I'll get to y'all questions. I'm gonna get right back to you, Sean. But you look. Let's turn on the screen share again. Okay, let's look. There we go. Okay, you guys, hold on. Take the brand down. Okay. So let's look at what we have available. Let's refresh the screen. Oh, let's go back. Matter of fact, my bad. Let's go back, computer. Let's go back. So he said the Bulls. Let's party and bullshit and party and. All right, you looking who are they? The Bulls are. Let's see. I think they like the fourth pick. So they are the fourth pick in the draft. Okay. So it's a chance. You look at what the Bulls got. So I know they starting lineup. I think Kobe White is more of a scorer than a point guard. You got Zach LaVine that can play the 2 or the 3. You got Kobe who can play the 1 or the 2. You also got Lauri Markkanen. Wendell Carter really hasn't shown much promise. So you're really here for Chicago. You're really looking for a guy, either a true point guard for them with some height and some length, or you probably looking for a true 5, right? Or you can look for a swingman. You know what I'm saying? So when I look for the Chicago Bulls, I look at the Force. They number 4. So I look at a couple guys for them. One guy I look at was Wiseman. Wendell Carter may or may not. He gonna play some time, maybe get better this year, not get injured. But you can develop James Wiseman behind Carter, and if Carter don't do much, you need a number 5. You need a big 5, okay? Also for them, if Denny is there, he fits perfectly. He can distribute, can play point guard. Kobe White can kind of be that one combo point guard. You also got Zach LaVine. So when I look for them, I think Wiseman and Denny are the 2 choices for them. Now, some chance they are gone, you continue to look down, okay? You say, we need a swing guy that can defend. Then we're looking at Isaac Okoro. We can develop him. He can defend at a high level. We're going to need him. We continue to go down. We need a true point guard. Tyrese Haliburton, a guy that got some height. You can slide LaVine to the 3. You can put Kobe White kind of as that 1 or 2, and you got a true point guard. So if I'm being honest with you, I like Denny, James Wiseman. If I had a sleeper pick, it's probably going to be Isaac Okoro or Haliburton. If I had another sleeper, maybe they take a flyer on Obi Toppin as well, too. So, yeah, I think Chicago is more likely to take Denny, Wiseman, Okoro, or a true point guard like Haliburton. So, there you go. So, that's just my opinion on it. Let's keep it rolling. But Andrew also said, hold on. Sean said, do you think this will be one of the better NBA? I think it could be okay. We're not talking that right now. The Bulls need a prayer. Oh, that Bulls got a good team. It's just a lot of people didn't like their coach Jim Boylan. I mean, you got Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Laurie Markkinen had to step back last year. Wendell Carter, they got talent. They got SJ Fish 101 salute. They got talent. Just need coaching. Kyle Guy is not a good selection by Sacramento. Kyle Guy, shit, I don't even remember his name. Who do you think the Pelicans should draft? Okay, let's look at the Pelicans. The Pelicans. Well, I don't even know where they picking. They picking behind the Pistons. So the Pelicans, sheesh, they picking 13. So I mean, any of these players can obviously be available at any time. It's just such a cluster. So we kind of looking at the 13 area. Okay, so we're looking like right here, and I think for the Pelicans, you got Ingram, you got Lonzo. Maybe you want to move Holiday. You got Nikhil, the other Nikhil Alexander behind him. You got Josh Hart as well too. Maybe you develop Jackson Hayes. Maybe you don't. You got Zion. I mean, sheesh, they got everything just young. But I mean, maybe you add another shooter like Aaron Neesmith there. Okay, maybe you add another shooter like Aaron Neesom. I mean, maybe you like Sadiq Bey. Maybe if you're getting rid of Drew Holiday, you add a Tyrese Maxey. I mean, basically, they're going to be moving on from Drew Holiday. So you're probably looking more two-guardish. So I think Tyrese Maxey would be a good fit there. Lonzo, a big point guard, can defend. Maxey can defend, kind of undersized combo guard. So if I'm them, I'm probably looking at Tyrese Maxey. I think that's an excellent fit for them. Who should the Knicks take? Okay, I like the Knicks. I think they are one pick behind the Pistons, if my memory serves me. Oh, I'm right again. They're the 8th pick. So we look at what the Knicks are doing. And if I was the Knicks, I'd probably trade the pick for some future picks. But in this scenario, let's say they take somebody, right? I know the Knicks roster pretty real. Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox really don't play. Dennis Smith Jr., Frank Ntilikina. So I got some guys there. RJ Barrett, not really a fan. But the Knicks at 8. Any of these guys can be there. You already got Mitchell Robinson. If you're going to keep them, let's just say they keep their roster intact. So if I'm the Knicks, they got Alfred Payton as well, too. I like him a lot. So the Knicks can go either way. They can go any way here. But if I was them, I'm probably one of the guys, the best player available, if I'm the Knicks. And so let's kind of just say, and perhaps we're looking like right at this area right here. I mean, let's say you're trying to look for a point guard of the future. Burton, Killian Hayes, which I don't think they want to go back to France anyway. Isaac Okoro. I mean, they can go anyway. But if I was the Knicks and I was in a position where, let's say from Toppins, let's be nice on it. Say Yannick Okongwu slips. If I was somewhere from Okongwu to Maxey, let's just say we picking from this pool of players right here, right? If I was here for the Knicks, and I got RJ Barrett, I know he's going to be good. Mitchell Robinson, those are my two mainstays that I know that's going to be really good, and they got Carmelo agent as the GM now, his ex-agent. I know those going to be my staples. I don't know if RJ going to be anything. He okay. But I know RJ and Mitchell Robinson are two I'm thinking of building with or around. So if you're asking me, they took so many guards over the years. I'm not really looking for a superstar if I'm them. But you know what? I need some shooting. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to get a guy that's going to come in here and ball right now. If I'm the Knicks, I'll take Aaron Neesmith at 8, and I don't look back. I got a guy that can shoot next to RJ Barrett, a guy that was coached well by Jerry Stackhouse. I take Neesom. If I had a second pick, if I was them, I would probably go on Yannick Okongwu. Those are the two guys that I'm probably going to look for the Knicks to take. So if I'm the Knicks, I'm doing that. He says, who's trading Luke for a pick? Luke who? What are you talking about, Luke? I'm kind of a little bit tired. Do you think Charlotte should start all back over? They've never been. Michael Jordan just like them white boys. But you got to remember, Mitch Kupchak is doing an amazing job for the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I think he found Devontae Graham in the second round. So, no, keep doing what you're doing. If I'm Charlotte, if you want to know what Charlotte should do, what is the Charlotte in this draft? Let's see what Charlotte is in this draft. Charlotte is number 3. If I'm Charlotte, if Edwards is there, I take Edwards or Denny at 3. And I don't look back, to be honest. So yeah, I don't think they should start over. Just keep doing what you're doing. Apparently, you got a hit. He said the Sixers just hired Bob Barker. Yeah, Daryl Morey. I've seen that. I mean, imagine if a black guy had said that about China and lost the NBA that much money. Would he still be employed? No. Stay at 7 and try to trade back with Luke. You're talking about Luke Kennard. I don't like Luke Kennard. He just can't stay healthy. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade back in this draft at all. I mean, 7 is a great pick in this draft, and the Pistons should take Hillburton. If they don't take Hillburton, I like Tyrese Maxey, Isaac Okoro, and I don't think they should trade back unless you get a pick next year. So yeah, man, appreciate y'all for tapping in. I have something special tomorrow. I was yesterday gonna do a live stream on the greatest receiver debate. So I mean, if y'all interested in that, we can do that. I mean, you can do the greatest receiver debate tomorrow, or sometime this week. I mean, greatest point guard, greatest. I mean, I think I might do the greatest receiver debate tomorrow. I mean, obviously in that conversation is Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice. I mean, and we also gonna do some underrated receivers as well. I think Steve Largent is underrated. I mean, you got guys like James Lofton. There's a lot of good receivers out there. I think receivers is a subjective. I don't think it's subjective. I think Jerry Rice is absolutely the greatest receiver of all time, and I just want to show people that how great Jerry Rice was, man. And I actually spent time in the gym when I was a little younger, and I still do. And I met a guy that played against Jerry Rice, Mississippi State Valley, played against him. So yeah. So I'm definitely probably gonna do that tomorrow. If not, we'll do a Friday. I might do a double stream. So appreciate y'all for tapping in. If y'all follow my other channel, Motor City Sports Talk, I'm about to get ready to finish up the Lions and the Colts prediction. Actually gonna be appearing on somebody's page tomorrow for the Colts. So I'll let you guys know when I do the collab with another Colts reporter. So appreciate y'all for tapping in. Keep sharing the videos. Tomorrow we might do the Tank press conference, or maybe not. I don't know. I may or may not do that. Appreciate y'all. Share that video. Best way to help the channel. And if you haven't, hit the thumbs up button on the way out. We gone. Hold on. They won't let me leave. Looks like you're logged out of stream. It's possible you logged on another tab. I don't know. Okay. Oh, shit. Hold on, they won't let me end it.